Hello there, I am the Punk Meeple, and today I'm going to be taking you through a solo playthrough of Clinic. Now, Clinic is a Euro-leaning game where basically you will take on the role of the administrator of a hospital, and the goal of the game is to try and make the most popular hospital you can. To become popular, you have to cure patients, or you can just buy popularity if you have enough money. The game takes place over 6 rounds. There's 3 phases in each of those rounds. And yeah, I will take you through the rules as we go through, but here we go. So here you can see the game board all set up. We have my hospital down here, and this is the central board. I'm going to be playing as the green player. I've already done the main game setup, so you can see the initial doctors. We've got 2 of the least skilled doctors. We've also got 2 different types of diseases available in a single player game, and we have 1 patient for each of them, and again they are the least ill. It goes from white to yellow to orange to red, with red being the most ill, and the same works with doctors, so you have white being the least skilled and red being the most skilled. We've also got here some nurses. Nurses will allow you to match up any disparity between the colour of your doctor and the colour of your patient, because you have to have a matching doctor colour to your patient colour, and if there is a difference you have to have a number of nurses equal to the difference. So if you had a white patient and a yellow doctor, that's a difference of 1, so you need 1 nurse. We also have some orderlies down here. Orderlies will help you keep the upkeep of your hospital low, nice and cheap. And then lastly we have an awful lot of cars here, and if this goes anything like any of my normal playthroughs of Clinic, there's going to be a lot of cars and a lot of parking problems, because parking is quite an important mechanic in this game. As you can see, I've already got 1 car parked here in my clinic, and it belongs to this doctor. Now normally you would only have a white doctor when you start the game, but you also get to draw a bonus tile, and the bonus tile I drew for this playthrough is to upgrade my doctor from a white to a yellow doctor. So here we go, I'm about ready to start. So these are my 3 different things I can do. You can build, you can admit patients, or you can hire people. So first off, your clinic you start with has a one of these areas here, which is service hub. So this is a service hub for the green mind disease, I can't remember what it's called. This orange room here is a treatment room, which is where you can send your patients to, and then this here is a supply room. Now there's kind of a spatial puzzle to this game, in that in order for a treatment room to work it has to be next to a service hub, and it also needs to be next to a supply room. The service hub has to be on the same floor in the same building, and the supply hub can actually be just next door to, or it can actually be above and below, because as you can see here, this is the first floor, but we also have this is a ground floor. This here is the first floor, and we can buy a 2nd and 3rd floor for the hospital as well. So you can make some giant buildings in this. Yeah. Other things that we've also got some special modules. I've got a I've got an operating theatre and I can't remember what that one's called, but it basically allows you to treat people really quickly, but you don't get much money. Pre-admissions or something like that. I can find out what it is in a minute. Let's have a look. I've got the rules close by because it's quite a complicated game. Outpatient services, that's what that's called. So yeah, outpatient services will allow you to very quickly treat somebody, and you don't actually have to match up the colour of the doctor to the colour of the patient, which is very, very useful. Another important thing on that I haven't mentioned is the fact that it treats them quickly, because that's the other area of this game. There's actually a time management aspect to this, and the harder it is to move around your hospital, the more penalties you'll take in terms of popularity, because of how long it takes you to get around stuff. So not only have you got to build a hospital that can treat all this stuff, but you've also got to design it in such a way that it is very efficient to move around. There's a few different ways you can do this. I've got 1 little entrance here. You can add other entrances to your hospital. You can also add helipads to your hospital from the first floor upwards. And last but by no means least, you can use these conveyor systems, which I'm guessing are kind of similar to the ones that you'd see in an airport, where basically once you step on it, you can transport to any other conveyor point in your hospital complex and it won't cost you any time. But yeah, I think that is pretty much all you're going to need to know to understand as I'm starting. I'm going to try and explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. But yeah, let's get ready for round one. Here we go, round one, let's have a look. So currently I have one yellow doctor. There are no yellow patients available at the minute, so that's going to kind of go to waste a little bit. There are, however, doctors I can buy up here. I should say I do start the game with 15 money. Yes, let's see what we can do. So I think I'm actually going to buy this over here. So this is the outpatient services that I was talking about before, and basically I am going to buy this, and this will cost me on my first floor, this will cost me 2 money, so 2 money back to the bank, and I'm going to place this here. So this basically will mean that I can use this outpatient services to use for this over here. So that, there we go, that's what I should probably say. You need to play this here to say that's my first action. So that's round one done. And then after that we draw some more patients. I believe I'm going to check that just to make absolutely certain that's what happens. I'm pretty sure that at the end of... Yes, that's right. So basically after everybody does their actions, we then draw a new disease for each of these people. So first off we go there, we have a yellow, and then we have another yellow. I should mention that this bag and also the doctor bag, which we haven't seen yet, are seeded with a certain number of each of the different types of cubes depending on the player count. Also, for a solo playthrough we'll only ever have these 2 diseases here. As you play with more and more people you'll get more and more of these diseases. But yeah, that's where that happens. Okay, so we've done that, and we then move into round 2. So round 2, I've now got into a situation where I can actually start bringing people into my hospital. So first things first, I think it's probably worth me bringing some people through. So I'm going to do the admit action for my second. So that means I get to bring some people in here. So this is a bit complicated, as most things are with this game. So you have a number of what are called queue points. And the number of queue points you have is 1 plus the number of entrances to your hospital plus the number of helipads into your hospital. Now I currently have just 1 entrance, so I have 2 queue points. And you can use this to manipulate the positions of these and also to bring them into your hospital. So currently I am in a situation where I can actually treat the yellow person, but you can only admit people if they're in this rightmost column. So as I've got 2 queue points, what I'm actually going to do is I am going to use my first queue point to swap these 2 around like so, and I'm going to use my second queue point to bring this yellow over to here, which will then slide this down, and that is my 2 queue points for my admission action. So there we go. What else can we do? So that is the end of the second round for me. So we then bring 2 more patients in. 1, another yellow, and then an orange. Interesting. Okay. So we have a couple of options here then. I could bring another patient in, but then obviously I've only got 1 doctor, so my doctor, you need a one-to-one relationship between doctors and patients in order to treat them. So I don't have enough doctors to treat another patient if I brought another patient in. I could bring another doctor in, And also, I should say, when you hire a doctor, you then actually get the option of hiring a nurse or an orderly, or you can just you can just hire a nurse and an orderly without hiring a doctor if you'd like. Oh, actually, do you know what? I've completely forgotten something I should have done already. Bad me. Whenever you bring anybody into your hospital, as I said, they bring a car with them. So there we go. So cars can be parked around the edges of any of these things on the ground floor. You can bring car parks in, which actually allow you to park more and more people in here. But whilst cars are around the outside here, you can't actually build in that space. So they kind of block off your options in terms of where you can build, so you've got to be very careful. But yeah, there we go. That patient has brought a car in, and as soon as we've cured that patient, or if they die, which is obviously not what we're aiming for, you can remove any car that's currently in your car park. Right, sorry, back to what we were actually doing. We can now choose what we want to do. So the other option I've got is I could actually try and expand my hospital a little bit. So, because at the moment I can only do this, these should be flipped the other way up, thinking about it. The reason for that is I should have done that in setup. Only one of each of these things can be bought by all the players every turn. So yeah, that's something I should have done. So apologies. Yeah, sorry, as I was saying, you can bring, I could buy another service hub to try and treat more people. Now there are some rules in terms of placement of these things. Service hubs, you can only have one per floor per building. Now that sounds a bit odd, but you can actually have more than one building per floor. So it's possible that I could actually build another building over here that's completely disconnected from this building over here. I could also just build upwards, but as you build upwards, things get more and more expensive. So I could do that. I could also see about putting in some of the new features, such as gardens, which allow you to get more money for treating people. I could see about putting in some of those conveyors to try and cut down my my expenses. But we'll just, I genuinely don't know what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what, let's build a garden, because I'll tell you why. Gardens are going to help me earn more money now, whereas if I build any more treatment rooms, I'm going to have to pay for them at the end of this round in the business phase, which you can see over here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to build a garden. So I'm going to build a garden over here, like so, and that is also going to cost me another 2 to build. And sorry, and then, I keep forgetting this, and that goes there. So that's my 3 actions. So after we've done that, we then go into the movement phase, where we actually start moving all these things around. So I'm going to need to bring this over here, and this is free. To move from pre-admissions here to the entrance of your hospital is free. Because they are matching, I'm actually going to take them to the treatment room rather than here to the outpatient services, because I'll get more money for treating them. And obviously, as I said, money is a way you can win this game. So I'm going to move this person here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 time points that's cost me there, which means I have to move that over to there. And that is my move done. And then after that, we move into the business phase. So as I have a yellow doctor here and a yellow cube, I can cure that person. So that will earn me 12 money, and we keep that off to the side just for a second. But as I said, because I have a garden, I also get another 2 money, because the patient loved the view out of the window, which is nice, I guess. So anyway, yeah, that patient is cured, which means I can take that person and that car. The car can go back onto the board, and the patient is removed from the game, all happy, and that's good. So then next, I have to pay for everything I've got currently on the board. So this is where it's less good. So first of all, I have a yellow doctor, so a yellow doctor is going to cost me 2 money. There we go. I also have to pay for my rooms. I can't remember exactly how. I think it's just one per module is how much you... Oh yeah, sorry. It's actually there. So you have to pay one per module and one per garden, and then operating theatres will either cost you one if you don't use them or three if you do use them. So I currently only have 1, 2, 3, 4 and a garden, so that's 5. So that's going to cost me 5 money. Done. And then at the end of doing all of that, you can actually gain some popularity, and popularity is how you win in this game. Obviously I'm only playing against myself, but I still want to do pretty well, so I can use any of the money that I've got left over at the end of this round to buy popularity at a rate of 3 to 1. So I'm going to buy a single popularity because I've only got 11 money left here. And I think I'm going to need a bit more. In fact, you know what? I'm actually not going to buy any popularity at all at this moment because I think I'm going to need all the money. So I'm just going to actually move this across here, like so. And there we go, that's the end of the business phase. So next up we come to admin. So first things first, this goes back to 1. I should have moved it to 3 actually. Anybody who's in this column here goes back in the patient bag. Whoops, did not mean to do that. Where were those? They were there, weren't they? Because I didn't touch those. So these guys go back into the patient bag and then they slide down here. Anybody in the university goes up a rank, so we actually upgrade the doctors because they've been in university for longer, so that's good. So these go there instead, which is nice. So you've now got better doctors for the same money. All good. And then we add more doctors in, but we haven't used any doctors, so we don't do that. We have to remove any nurses in the first round column, which we didn't buy, so we didn't actually buy any nurses that round. Orderlies will stay there, that's fine, which is this bit here. Next, anybody who is in the lab, which we don't actually have in the game, but that's another special building you can buy. You basically can train your people up, but any doctors that aren't in the lab de-skill a level. So my yellow doctor is now a white doctor, so he's the least skilled doctor there is. Then any patients that are left in your building that haven't been cured will get worse, and anybody who's red will die, and then you'll lose some points, which is not good. But that doesn't happen for me, so that's all good. Then we flip the tops of these over, which I didn't actually draw any new ones of those, and then people can buy fame points, I believe. No, sorry, I've done that. And then you switch up the player order, and then that is it, I believe. That is the end of round 1. That will come down to round 2, and we are ready for round number 2. So here we are into round 2. I did, however, realise that I should have added 1 patient cube to each of the 2 diseases up here at the end of the 3rd round, the first round of the game, whatever. There wouldn't have actually been 1 here because there would have already been 4 cubes and you can't put a 5th one, but there should have been a 2nd one here. So we're going to place that cube there. That should have been there at the end of the last round. I'll try and be better. So here we go, this is round 2. My plan of action is I'm going to try and set up my hospital to be able to cure both types of these diseases. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a build action, and I am going to buy this cardiac room. So the cardiac room, in order to place this, I can't place it anywhere attached to this building because there's already a service hub here. I could place it over here, which is fine. The problem with that might be that it's going to cost me quite a lot to move people around. So that's one problem that I've got there. Or I could actually go onto my first floor. So it's going to cost me more to build up here, but it might be easier to get people to the rooms. Another important thing is, as I've got a service hub here, which is essentially below this point, I can't build directly above it. So that's not allowed. I could build it there, however, which is what I think I'm actually going to do. So I'm going to do that. I will build a service hub there, which is obeying all the rules, and that's going to cost me 3 money because I was building it on that floor. So the next thing I'm actually going to do is to build I'm going to do another build action actually. I'm going to come straight out and I'm going to build a treatment room for this. So I'm going to build that here. Now, a treatment room needs to be adjacent to a supply room, and there's one directly below it, so that's fine. I can actually do that there. And I also get the opportunity, and sorry, that's going to cost me 3 money as well, so there we go. And I can also build a supply room if I wanted to. But I don't actually think I need to at the minute, because all of my treatment rooms are actually okay. I could build one here in order to be able to build a second treatment room there later on in the game, which might mean I can cure more people. But then if that's the case, I'll be building another one of these and I can build it then when I need it. So I'm actually going to not bother with that. So I'm going to turn down building an extra supply room. So that's my second action. Actually, I should have done that there. I should also oh dear, I'm not doing very well at all. I just realised I should have been putting cubes down. So for the first round, I would have done that and that. And then we've just finished the second round. And that should go there. So we're now into round 3. I should probably see about curing some people. That would probably be a good idea. So next up, I should probably bring somebody in. So I have a choice. I could try and I could try and cure someone with a cardiac problem, but I've only got a white doctor, and the only person that is white is on the end here, so I can't actually get to that very easily. But I can still cure someone with the brain mental problem. So we're going to do that instead. So I'm going to use my last action to do an admission, and I'm going to admit this guy over here up there into my pre-admission space. And then these slide down. And I'm not going to forget to put the next cubes out this round, so that one would go there. I can't place one there. That's the end of that. So we now move in to the movement phase, which is down here. So this is free, and then I'm going to have to go 1 and 2, so it's only 2 movement this turn, so that's not so bad. There we go. I'm currently losing 2 points due to taking up too much time, so I am going to start needing to buy some popularity, I think. Yes, I can now cure this white patient. So a white patient actually only earned me 8, but then I do get 2 bonus because they like looking out the window at the lovely trees. So that gets me 10 money. It's not a lot of money. I'm gonna need to think about some new ways of earning some cash. Then I need to pay for my staff, so I've only got 1 doctor, so that's going to cost me 1. There we go. Then I need to pay for all my stuff, so I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I actually have to get. I'm only making 2 money this round. You see, oh, and I just realised that's cured. I didn't bring a car in. See, I told you this is what I'm always going to forget. That guy there is going to take that car away, and then leave. Oh dear, I always forget the cars. Never mind. Anyway, sorry, I've only got 2 money left, and I know I should start buying popularity, because that's, again, how you do well in this game, but at the moment I've not got much money. So yeah, I need to start thinking about curing more people, I think. Yes. So again, I am not going to buy any popularity, which I'm sure is probably going to cause me trouble in the future. I'm going to reset these. This is going to knock down to there. Everybody in the university goes up a level, which means my yellow doctors are now orange doctors, which is very cool. Some very good. There we go. Probably start hiring some more doctors. This nurse goes away. The orderlies I haven't bothered bringing in because I haven't done hire action yet. What else we got to do? We have got to do that. That gets you some level up if they're in the lab. We don't have the lab, but everyone levels down if they were used. You can't actually level them down anymore. I don't have to drop anybody's condition because they're all doing well. We flip over this so I can buy another cardiac unit if I want to, and then we can rearrange the player order, but I'm the only player, so that we don't have to do that either. And oh, lastly, these guys need to go back into the bag, which means these trip along there. Okay, and I believe that's us done. That's the end of round 2. So here we are, round 3 of our solo playthrough of Clinic, and I think the plan is going to have to be to make some more money because there's too much of it over here, not enough of it over here. So my plan is to try and hire more doctors so I can cure more patients, which I think is a good plan. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to move these back across here. So I need to make space because, as I said, I've got a feeling I'm going to be doing some hiring this round. So yes, first things first, let's do some hiring. So I'm going to use my hire action to hire a doctor. So I'm going to hire this doctor here for 2. So they go onto my entrance and that's going to cost me 2. I can also now hire an orderly or a nurse. So the orderly will cost me 1, and you can't really see this, but the nurse will cost me $3, and they get more expensive as the game goes along. Oh, actually, while I'm thinking about it, that doctor brings a car, so let's park that out for there so it's right out of the way just in case. Yes, so a nurse will allow me to cure people who have got slightly different levels, or an orderly will actually allow me to reduce the amount of time that I'm spending moving stuff around. So that actually sounds like quite a nice idea, so I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pay 1 more money to bring an orderly over as well, so that orderly pops there, and again the orderly drives a car, so the car comes into my hospital parking as well. There we go. So that is everything I'm going to do for my hire action. So next up, I suppose, now I've got some doctors, I should probably find some people that they can cure. So I'm going to do, I just realised I've pressed the wrong thing, I've done the wrong thing there. That should be higher. Next up, I am going to do an admission. So first things first, I'm going to admit this white patient here. She's going to shuffle this one down here. And then I'm going to take this one as my second. So there we go, I've got 2 patients in this time, which should be quite good, so I can try and make a bit more money. But I do still have these up here, which aren't really doing anything. And I just realised that was the end of that one, so I should have... I'm terrible at putting these bits out. So that should be there now. That should be there. And then at the end of round 2, that should be there. Cool. Right. So here we go. I've now got a choice of what to do. So what I might actually do is I could see about buying a conveyor system to try and reduce my time even more. So those can go back over there properly. So for the cost of 2, I can build a conveyor system, which I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to do that. I will get 3 money back. And the first time you build a conveyor system, you actually get to place 2 of these at once. Any time afterwards, you only get 1 extra thing to put into your network. And you can only have 1 network of this. It has to be 1 big conveyor. But yeah, here we go. So that will be my last move. That's a build. There we go. And I'm going to do the cubes because I'm not going to forget this time. There we go. 1 more. cube. Okay, there we go. That is the end of the actions phase. We can now move into the move phase. So these can come along here. So first things first, it's one movement to there, and then that's free using my conveyor. One movement, and then that's free, 2. So that's 3 movement in total. And then that's 4, and that goes to there. And that's 5, and then that goes to there. So it's 5 movement in total, but my orderly actually reduces the total movement by 3, meaning that's only cost me 2 movement time in order to do all of that, which feels like I'm doing better now, so we'll see how this all goes. So first things first, we're going to cure some people. So we have an orange and a white, both of whom are next to a garden, so they're all happy, which is going to get me 20 plus 2, so that's 22, and 8 plus 2, which is another 10. So that's going to give me 32 money. That is starting to feel more like it should be going. So 32, brilliant. There we go. These 2 people are cured. They are going to take cars with them, and I just realised I haven't been putting cars in there. Never mind. I would have been okay, but I will remember from now on. I probably won't, because I'm terrible at this, but I'll try. Anyway, yeah. So we can tell we're okay because we've got 3 staff members. There are 3 cars there. But yes, so we've earned 32 money from that. Now we have to start paying for stuff. So this guy's going to cost us 3. This guy is going to cost us 1, meaning we lose 4 money for paying those guys. Then we have to pay for all of our units. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So another 7 money goes. Oh dear, never mind. So that's going to put those there. That means I've got to get 20 money back. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And this time I'm actually going to buy some fame, because I need to start buying them. I'm currently on -2, so I tell you what, let's buy 3 fame. So do that, 3 up the fame track. We're off 0. We're starting to make a name for ourselves, so that's good. Next we are going to do the admin phase, and I forgot to move that, so anyway that goes back to there. That goes back to there. Anybody who is still in university goes up another level, so that doctor that started off as a lowly white doctor is now a big powerful red doctor who I'm sure will probably spend most of his time playing golf. Is anything like any of the doctors I know. Yes, sorry, that's what we did there. Then we we now have a spot over here, so first time in this round we're actually going to reach into the doctor bag and we're going to pull a new one out. So ooh, we've got some very good doctors. So normally you'd have to rearrange this to make sure that the best doctors cost most. We're already there, so that's fine. Next up we I just realised I forgot to do that as well. These guys should go back into the bag. Ooh, there we go. Where were we? So we've done that. We have got to remove the level 3 orderly nurse, because we still haven't bought any nurses. We don't have any science lab, so we don't have to do that. Any used doctors will go down a level, so this is now a yellow doctor. There we go. And any patients we have that haven't been cured get worse. We haven't got any patients still left in the hospital because we're just that good at curing them. We haven't got to flip any of these back over. We haven't got to change that. So that is the end of round 3. And we can get ready with round 4. Okay, this is round 4, and we're going to start off, as we usually do with me playing this game, with a correction. So I just realised that orderlies don't reduce the amount of time, they actually reduce your outgoings for your how much you have to pay for your units. So last round I would have actually had 1, 2, 3, another 3 units of time taken. However, I would have actually got a reduction of 3 money to my bills, which rather than just take the 3 money, I'm actually going to say that I would have used that 3 money again to buy another fame point. So there we go. From there, let's try and have a round where I don't make any mistakes. Let's see if I manage to do that. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't put money on me at this point, but here we go, we're going to try. So last round went pretty well. What should we try and do? So we've got... I quite like the look of that orange patient there, because that can get me some good money. If I hired that orange doctor there, or I could hire a nurse instead, and then the nurse can help with the with the yellow doctor over here. Interesting. Right, what could we do? Yeah, let's do that. First of all, let's hire somebody, and I'm going to hire that orange doctor for 2 money. There we go. And again, now I have the option of hiring an orderly or a nurse. So, an orderly has to be inside a supply closet, which means if I hired that orderly, and oh, actually, before I go on any further, we forgot car. I didn't move on to this, so I'm going to keep I haven't made a mistake, because technically I hadn't moved on. I didn't make a mistake. You got to grasp onto these little things, I guess. Yes, sorry. So I get a choice of an orderly or a nurse. So let's have a look around. So the orange, we're actually okay for both of these, because we could take that orange person in there. That's fine. We could take the white person in, and we take the yellow. We actually are fairly well covered for the colours that are on there. The only thing we don't have is a red doctor, which we could hire, or we could use a nurse. Anyway, I'm babbling a bit at the moment. I am just instead going to say we're not going to hire one of the people from down here, and we're going to end that action. We're next of all going to do some admissions. So again, I've still got just 2 units because I haven't bought any more people, any more entrances or helipads or anything like that yet. So I'm going to bring in this orange here, which is my first, I just realised, no, I'm not going to allow this to count because I have just made a mistake. I forgot to fill these guys up at the end. There we go. So at the end, yeah, another one fell out. We didn't get very far, did we? And I forgot to move that. Oh dear, yes. Maybe by the end of the game we'll have a flawless one. So anyway, that will move that down there. And I've still got one thing I can do. I am going to bring in this one here. And then that moves that down. And then I have to bring some more people in. So we've got that and that. Okay. That's 2 of my 3. Next up, what are we going to do? So let's think this through. We could build a helipad. That would be quite cool. More mistakes. I haven't brought any of the patients. The patients should have had cars as well. So let's do this. See, I make these mistakes so you don't have to. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. Right, last round. So yeah, we could build... What could we do? We could build another garden. The only way you can build on the 2nd floor is if you're building above the 1st floor, and those won't line up with that, so that's no good. We could build a helipad, like I said. We could build one of those here, which would allow us to get nice and quickly into there, which is quite a nice idea. I quite like that. And that would also help with our queue points, so we could do more manipulation around here when we're admitting in future. We could build another entrance. That's not really going to do much for us. We could build another conveyor to move people up to here, but again, not going to do that much for us. Or we could build some parking, and we could try and move some of this around. But I'll be honest with you, I've kind of sold myself on the idea of building a helipad, so that's what we're going to do. We are going to spend 3 money, which is quite frankly a bargain, and we are going to build a helipad, which means we can now get our patients into there, which I like. Yes, so that was my 3rd thing, which means I have to place another one of these out at the end of the round, which means we're there. Excellent. That is the end of the 3rd action, which means we move into the movement phase. So I am going to actually bring both of these guys into the helipad. That's 1, 2. There we go. We need to get some people up to cure them, so we're going to go 1. That's 3 to move to there. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I did that in a weird way, but that's actually 7 because it was, yeah, 1. Was it? Hang on. 1, that was 3, 2, 3, and then that one was 4, 5. Yeah, 6, 7. I was right. So that's 7 time, which takes me up to 18. Things are going bad. Yes, and now that's all done. Now we have to move into business phase. Yeah, sorry, I was just checking all that. So we are going to cure an orange and a white. There's no gardens this time, so this only nets us 28. So those leave, as do their cars. I can remember to remove them. I can just never remember to place them in. Yes, that's 28. That's not bad. 1, 2. There we go. Next up is we have to pay people, so we have to pay all of our doctors. So we have an orange, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 money I've got to pay out. So again, if I put those back in, I should get 20 back. There we go. Then I have to pay for all my modules, and I've got to remember that this time that I do not have to I can reduce this by 3, which is good. Question is, does a helipad cost? I don't think a helipad costs as a module, so that's quite good. Yes, I think that's the case. We're going to play like that. That might be a mistake I'm making till the end of the game. But anyway, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, not the helipad. -3 because of the orderly, which means I only have to pay 4 money. Do that. Which means at the end of this round, I've made 17 money. And I get to choose whether I'm going to buy some more. So you know what? I'm actually going to do that. I will buy another 3 fame points for taking me up to 7, which means I'm currently on 1 fame point. Which actually brings me to something quite funny. This game has one of those tokens which you can have, like, say, oh, I've got more than 50 because I've managed to get it around the board, or even more than 100. If anybody has ever managed to get even close to 50, please let me know, because generally when I play this, I'm generally a bit better than this. I'm trying to kind of show you more of what you do in this game, so I'm not playing the best you can possibly play. That's the excuse I'm going to use, and I'm sticking to it. But yeah, I've never seen anybody get to 50 or 100. Just seems madness if you ask me, but yeah, it's there. So anyway, sorry, where were we? Admin. We are going to move that back, and we're going to move that forward. It's the first time I've actually managed to do all that correctly. We are going to remove those, and they go back into the patient bag. And all of these slide down, like so. Any doctor in university go up a level. He's already maxed out, so yeah, that doctor stays there. But we do, however, need to place a new doctor into university. So we have got this one. So we've got a yellow doctor that started this time. Good, good, good. That nurse is gone because we didn't hire them. Any doctors in the lab go up 2 levels and get a fame point. We don't have a lab, so we can't do that. But then all doctors go down a level, which means this is now a white doctor. And this one is now a yellow doctor. And again, the white doctor can't go down a level. All of our patients get worse, but again, we've managed to cure all of our patients, so we have got that going for us. And I believe that is it. That's the end of round 4, so we're going to start with round 5. Right, here we go, round 5, and once again I'm going to try and get through an entire round without making a mistake, but again, not going to promise anything because this is quite a complicated game. So, let's have a look at the state of play here. We have got we're in a slightly better place in terms of admitting patients, as that helipad now nets us a third queue action we can do over here. So potentially we can actually get in quite a lot of doctors, a lot of patients. I'm actually set up in such a way that I can do 5 cures per turn if you include the outpatient services over here. So yeah, let's see what we can do. So first things first, let's get some patients in. So we are going to do an admissions action. So there we go. I'm going to try. First things first, I'm going to use my first cue point to do that, then these slide down. I'm going to use my second cue point to manipulate these, like so. And then I'm going to use my third to bring that one in there. So that is my 3 cue point actions for my admission, and then that one slides down there. And as I've brought 2 patients in, I have to park their cars. I remembered that time. Next up, let's see what we've got next. So we could hire. Oh, actually no. Before we move that, we've got to do that again. I'm going to say that this doesn't count because, oh dear, I didn't go entirely onto the next round before doing that, so that's fine. I think I'm okay. Cool, so yes, we're now, if I can get a yellow doctor into there, I can cure both of those. So it's a question of, do I use that one or do I hire this one over here? I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to hire. So I'm going to go and hire here, and I'm going to hire that yellow doctor for 2, and I'm also going to hire them 4. Blimey, that's expensive. Yeah, okay, so that's going to cost me. Yeah, those nurses really ramp up in price. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Yep, so I've now got those, and each of those needs a car. See what I mean about the parking? I said at the beginning it was going to get a bit mad. That's quite a lot of cars. So, yes, we've done that. And that is number 2. So then this moves across to here, and I have to put some more patients out. Only 1 though, because there's only 1 empty space. Oh dear. Sorted. I need to get some more patients in, so I've got 3 cue points. So I could. Ooh, that's quite smart. I might do that. So what I'm thinking is, again, I'm going to do another admissions action over here, and I'm going to admit this yellow cube. Then these slide down. And I'm actually going to admit this yellow cube as well, and I don't actually have a yellow doctor for this one, but I do have a white doctor and a nurse, which will allow me to bridge the gap there. So that's quite a good thing to do, I think. So we're going to move those 2 there, and then we have 2. Oh, we've got our first red patient. I think there's only 1 of those in the whole bag. There we go. Oh, I just realised. I don't know if that counts. I forgot to put in those cars for those patients in. Fingers crossed though, we're about to cure all of them. So we now move from there onto the movement phase. So we are going to, first off, shift these guys around a bit. So we're actually going to make so the nurse comes in through the helipad. So that's 1. And then we go 2, and then we use that to get over there. So that's, we're on to 2 movements. And then for these over here, that's 2, 3, 4, and then that's 3. And then we're going to go 5. Actually, these can come up through here. So 5, 6. So that's 6 movement points. meaning I'm now up to 24, which means I'm losing 8 points at the end of the game, and I currently only have 7, so I'm on -1. Things are not going well. Probably wouldn't come to this hospital if I was actually running it in real life, but yes. Who said running a hospital was easy? Anyway, let's start curing some patients. So first of all, down here we have got an 8 and a 12, plus 2 each because they're next to a garden, which means we get 24 for curing those two. So that's all right. Tell you what, I will place that in there. There we go. So that's them gone, and then their cars go away as well. Very nice. Over here, we've got a yellow treat in this one and a white treat in this one with the nurse, which can bridge the gap between a white and a yellow patient. White doctor and a yellow patient, so that's okay. We can cure both those. So that is another 24, which is not bad. There we go. And then those two cars again go away. Just to make sure I've got that correct. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Kept on top of that, so we're all good. Excellent. Now we have to pay people. So doctor, it's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need to pay 7 off. So I need to change that. I need 18 back. There we go. Excellent. I need to pay for all of my modules. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, here we go into the final round. And I think, I mean, we've still got some more patients to draw from the bag, but I think I'm actually in a position where I can cure every single one of those patients. No, I'm not. I can't hire enough doctors. I'll take that back. But I can at least cure a decent chunk of them. So, what should we do? We should probably try and cure that that red patient would be a good idea. So try and hire the red doctor and cure the red patient. Let's start with that. So yeah, let's start with that. First off, we are going to hire the red doctor for 4 money. 1, 2, 3, 4 money. Okay, and I can now hire a nurse or an orderly. I don't think I'm going to do that though, so we're going to leave it there. I have to bring in a car for my brand new doctor, and we have 2 new cubes to get added to there. Okay, so what do we do now? Now I think we should try and hire some people. So I think this is going to be a bit of a spatial puzzle. So I think that I'm basically going to have to do, I have to bring these people in, but it's what is the best way of doing this? So I would like to try and get my red patient in over here, which means I could just do 3 hires. Sorry, 3. I could do 3, just bring all 3 of those patients in straight away. The problem would be I would then need to move my nurse down here, which would cost me time, and ideally I'd like to use that nurse to cure that one over there. So let's see what we can do. So first off, yeah, let's bring that one in. So that's my first cue point. Remember, I've got 3 of those. I'm then going to spend the second one switching those over, and my third one bringing that in. So I've now got those done. Excellent. And then these drop down. That goes to there. We draw from the bag, and if I remember rightly from what I felt, there's only 1 more left. So only the top one will get one. And that's it. That's okay, because this is the very last round of the game. So let's see what we can do. So I think this is what I'm going to end up doing. Is I'm going to actually go and do another admit action. And I am going to bring in this one, so that can be cured up here. These slide down. This one, so that can be cured by the white doctor and the nurse, and then this slides down. And I'm going to bring this one in as well, and this one means we bought it in the first round. Hang on, there was a beep there. Just going to check the camera. We're good. It was my other camera. Never mind. Yeah, sorry. This one here, we bought it in the first round. We're finally going to use this over here. And then that's it. We can now move into the movement phase. So first things first, these guys, I'm going to move this. That's free. 1, 2. And I think that's all the movement I need to do for that. Then we're going to go 3, 4. And then these two can go over here, like so. I just realised I haven't brought in any of the cars for these patients, so I'll do that in a second. So it's 4. And then these ones are going to go, these two here are going to go there, and that's 6. And then this one goes straight to there, and it doesn't cost any money. So that's 6 in total. So that's pretty good, actually. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excellent. There we go. And as I said, I didn't do any patient cars because I'm terrible and I keep making mistakes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 members of staff. So that's what we have there. So I now need to add another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. And if I can't actually add all these cars, I can't have all these patients. But I think we're okay. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Excellent. There we go. So we've done that. Lastly, we have to do business phase. So this is where I'm going to hopefully rake it all in. So that's 32 plus 2 because of the garden, so that gets me 34. This is 8 plus 2 because of the garden, which gets me, which is 10. So that's 44 for curing those two. So we're looking pretty good already. So that's 30, 44, and then 2 cars disappear because those patients are cured and they're very happy about being cured. Excellent. Up here we have 12 and an 8, so that's another 20 we get over here, which is brilliant. So those 2 patients are also cured and they take their cars back as well. Brilliant. And then lastly we've got this one here, which doesn't matter what colour, the colour doesn't have to match the cube, but in this case it does, but you only get 6 money for curing them, which, as it's only a white one, it's only a loss of $2, so let's get rid of those as well. That goes, and that's that. We've earned a big old wodge of cash this round, so hopefully we're going to get a big old load of points as well. So next up we have to pay our doctors, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so we lose 10 for paying. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but we can reduce that by 3 because of our orderly, so those go away. And now we get to buy some stuff, and I'm actually going to spend as much of this as I possibly can because we're in the last round of the game, so why wouldn't you? So we've got 30 there, so that's 10 points straight up, so that takes me up to 25. And then we've got, that's another 3, 5, 7. My maths probably completely off here. So that's 21, so that's 7, and another one there, which gets me 2 change back, which I think gets me 8 more points, I think, which takes me up to, from 25 up to 33. And there we go, these come across like so. I didn't realise I've got 5 over there as well. Yeah, okay, so that's all my, and then lastly, this gets reset, that comes off because we're done. Then yeah, we basically, at this point, the only thing that really bothers us is if we killed anybody, which we didn't, because again, we managed to cure everybody, and we can say that absolutely every patient that came into our hospital walked out again, which is good, because not everyone can say that. Oh, hang on, actually, we do need to, actually, that's the point, how do you get red people here? I am going to have to consult the rule book briefly, because It says here, you get points for having the because if you do the admin in the last round, then all of your red doctors that they use will go down, but you get points for red doctors. But it looks like, sorry, yeah, this should go down to orange. Maybe the only way of making sure you end the game with a red doctor is if you put them in the university. Sorry, the research room. Never mind. We're all learning. So yeah, sorry. Here we go. We get some extra points at the end of the game. So I will, for this guy here, will give me 4 points. So that takes me up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 37. Then every white doctor gets me 2 points. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's actually not been too bad of a game. And sorry, nurses are worth 1 point. Orderlies don't earn you anything. If you have plenty of buildings, you get points. We actually only have 1 building. It is a 2-story building, but we don't get any points for that at all. So for every treatment room that we have that's fully functional, we get some money. So we get you get 1 point per thing for that. So we've got 1, 2. I think that's correct. Just checking. Oh, score the points next to the thing. So it says, oh, sorry, it's down here. I don't get anything from there, but on this floor, I get 2 points. There we go. Sorry, there's a lot of iconography in this game, and then you lose You lose points for any patients that are still in your clinic. I've managed to keep them all out, but then you lose points for your time spent, which means I lose 10 points, taking me down to 38 points. So that's it. We have finished our solo player clinic. There are actually some kind of what we can do here. So 38, according to this. I don't know if you can see that. That makes me an intern. But I say 81 or more to be a CEO. I've never seen anybody get above 50, but yeah. Anyway. I hope that was useful. Let's come back up top and I can tell you a few other things about this game before we sign off. So there we go. That is a solo playthrough of Clinic. Hopefully you found that quite useful. It's a really, really good game. It's quite heavy, and obviously, as you can now see, it's very Euro leaning, but it's very good. The spatial puzzles are good. Manipulating the patient boards is quite interesting as well. Yeah, it's a really, really interesting game. You've seen most of what the game has to offer here. However, there are 3 more service hub types that you can actually put into the game, so you can have a total of 5 different diseases. You need more players to do that. However, on a building stuff sort of note, I did notice that I've been making one other mistake through the entirety of the game, which is that every time you take a build action, you actually get to build 2 things, not just 1, with the potential bonus supply room. So I could have actually had a much bigger hospital than I did, but you know, these things are never flawless, and I'm saying it now, so yeah, that's something you should probably know. There are also some more special modules, so we only played with 2 of them, and of the 2 that I had out, I only actually used 1 of them. I didn't use the operating theatre. There are 2 other ones that you can bring in, which is a triage module, which I think allows you to reduce that's the one that actually allows you to reduce your time, and there is, oh, that was it, the lab which allows you to level your doctors back up, so you don't have to keep hiring fresh doctors and then end up with just loads and loads of low-level doctors at the end of the game. I also didn't use the parking, but my parking situation never got too bad because I didn't extend my hospital that much. Anyway, yeah, so that would be a basic game. However, because we are looking at this, the deluxe edition of Clinic, which I believe is the one that the only one you can actually buy, because this game originally had an incredibly limited print run like 4 or 5 years ago, where I think at one point there were only like 30 copies of it in existence. I think you can only buy this version of it now. This version actually comes with a few extra modules in, which is quite nice. So you've actually got a few a few extra bits that we didn't have in there. You can have, there's a few of them here. There's what have we got? We've got fire extinguishers, which will make people more happy, which I think helps the doctors. You can do blood transfusions, which allow you to modify patients. There's hard-working doctors. That's another one where I think they can cure, one doctor can cure 2 people, but then as soon as they've done it, they immediately leave your hospital, so they're just one shot. And the last one, which is quite interesting, I've not actually played with this one yet, which is odd because I quite like all my zombie movies, is a zombie version of this game, where you actually have zombies that you're trying to cure occasionally, and the funny thing about that is whenever you bring a zombie into the hospital, you don't get to remove one of their cars because apparently you're curing them, but I've got a horrible feeling you're just putting a bullet in their head or something like that. But your car park just basically gets full of cars from what I've read in the rules, which sounds quite fun. I will try that at some point. The other thing you can get, and this is not something I have played with yet, is this, which is the extension, which is a huge stack of extra modules that you can play with. Again, I can walk you through a few of them now, just to talk about what you have. So first off, you've got floor 4. Again, I didn't use anything more than the first floor on mine, but you can go up to levels 2 and 3 if you want to with the base game. This now adds a 4th floor. You can also add amenities, sorry, let's pronounce that correctly, which allow you to basically move your doctors out of the hospital so you can actually level them back up, I believe. There's an ambulance, which allows you to get people into your hospital faster. There's an urban design. This one's quite interesting, actually. There's a game called... Oh, it's up here. Really good game called Blueprints, where basically the idea is you're just stacking blocks and you're trying to match a design on a card, saying, right, if you manage to stack the dice in this particular way, you'll get some points. This does the exact same way, but for clinic. So you'll be given a hospital design and you'll get extra points if you manage to match the shape of your hospital to the one that's on the card. And then there are multiple difficulties depending on like how many buildings you have to have and all this kind of stuff. Janitors, that's a new thing you can add in. Janitors allow you to move your conveyor belts around the hospital, so that once they're in, you can you can move them around to make them more efficient, which is quite good. I don't know what the pharmacy does. It just comes with an extra bag full of pills. I'm not entirely sure what those pills do. There's a hospice thing where you can now have elderly people coming into your hospital, and they basically take longer to move around your hospital. And I think they can only be cured by nurses, if what I've read is correct. So that's, again, something different. You can have underground works, which can basically make parts of your map completely unusable. And that's actually something else I should say. I was playing on the easy mode, where you get a 4x4 map. 4x3 map. There's actually a harder 3x3 map as well, which I suppose if you're using that one, you're probably more likely to build upwards. What else you got? Pillars. Pillars mean you can start supporting stuff on higher levels without having to build a whole room. You can just build the pillar. It's interesting. Viruses, well, I'm sure we all know quite a lot about the way viruses work and how they make things difficult. You can now throw that into the game as well. Satellite TV is another module you can add in, where you can basically put satellite TV into your patient's room and earn more money. Works in a similar way to the way the gardens work in the base game. You can have an intensive care unit as well, which is again similar to another hospital-based game called Dice Hospital, where in that one, when you cure stuff, you actually just, rather than immediately curing them, you just make them slightly better until they kind of roll off the feeling good spectrum and then they're cured. In that case, you have to get the dice up to 6, and then when you try and move them 7, that's it, they're cured. This works in a similar way, that when you're treating a patient, they no longer are immediately cured. You just raise their level by 2. You still get paid for doing that, which is good, which basically means you sometimes will be able to keep a patient in your hospital for multiple turns, getting more and more money off them. So that's, again, quite cool. And the last one you have is obstetrics, which means you can start having babies in your hospital. So as I say, there's an awful lot of modules in that one, and they can all be mixed and matched as how you see fit. But yeah, anyway, that is Clinic. I really recommend this game. I think one of the first things I did when I was writing for Zatu was to actually write a first impressions article about this. Definitely recommend you go and find that. It's glowing. I really like this game. It's complicated. Again, as you saw, there are some rules that I haven't played this in a good few months now. I think it was just before the pandemic was the last time I played this. So I'm a little bit rusty. So there's a few rules I missed or got wrong here, there and everywhere, but as you see, it's quite a difficult game, quite a complex game, but it's definitely worth it. It is an awful lot of fun, and it's a nice puzzle to get your teeth into if you fancy it. Yeah, there we go. I've been the Punk Meeple. I hope you found this really useful. Enjoy the rest of your UK Virtual Expo coverage that we're doing here at Zatu Games. Take care.